Всем привет! Мы находимся на канале STEM, канал о винных путешествиях и вине. И сегодня у нас есть уникальнейшая возможность. Мне удалось словить владельца винодельни Domaine La Prut, это Wilfried. И я ему задам пару вопросов, и у нас будет возможность посмотреть с другой стороны, со стороны владельца бизнеса, как происходят процессы на винодельне, какая у них была история, и как владелец винодельни видит ситуацию, собственно, со своей стороны. So, Wilfried, thanks for first of all, thanks for your time. Thanks for this interview.
Thank you for you.
Yeah, we'll go through little questions, and we will start with the first one, as always, from the history.
Okay.
So, how did you get to the idea to make wine? We are not talking about Moldova now, we will talk about it later, but about making wine. Tell me about your idea.
So I'm an Austrian guy, I come from Austria, and we had at home in the family, we had a winery and a distillery and a fruit juice producing company. And my father said to his sons, we are more brothers, that the best is we go to Switzerland for the school of wine and fruit juice producing. And so I studying in Switzerland in the end of 1970s, the beginning of 1980, to the engineer of fruit juice and wine producer. And in 1982 I started my job as a fruit juice engineer in the father's company in Austria. And so we had, my brother works more on the winery, and me works more in the fruit juice. And I had a lot of wine for the production, but I had not so many times to focus me on the wine. So I am more or less in the fruit juice business. And after the fruit juice business, I start with a composite company. And when I was beginning of the retired time, I'm thinking what I do when I'm retired, and so that was the idea to start with a wine production here in Moldova. And since 2018, I start with the winery Domaine La Prut.
Yeah, how old were you at that time?
At that time I was 58 years old. When I said, okay, now it's time to start the beginning of a winery and with vineyard. Not only wine production, also they produce the grapes.
So guys, 59 years old, there is always time to do something cool. Thanks, Wilfried. So, and why Moldova? So you're an Austrian guy. Why you found yourself in Moldova?
Since 1998, I comes for a project on the fruit juice and cannery industry to Moldova. And since this time, I was in a part of my business life. I was start in Moldova at this time. And that's the reason why I every year 6-7 times in Moldova to start my Moldovan business in agriculture, in immobiles, and in consultant company. And then it gives the sense from the agriculture industry to say, I will start my winery here in Moldova. And also I understand from the last 25 years, when I travel a lot in Moldova, that the climatic situation and the ground situation is perfect for producing really good quality on red wine, and also with the climatic changing in the last year, it is a very good area, especially more in the north, for white wine. That's the reason why I'm thinking, okay, I start here.
Cool. Thanks. And what were the main difficulties, in your opinion, to start this business here?
It gives a lot of difficult situations
but
to start a business. But No, it was not. I cannot say. The most one was that it gives some partner that they are not working correct with you, and I lose a little bit of money when I invested in the vineyard.
So to find the correct partner, to find the possibility to deal with somebody.
Yes,
right?
so I had one, but in all I had only one wrong partner. So it is not a big problem. That's not true.
Okay. And with wine production, did you have any problems? at the
No,
beginning?
no. It was really, I see that in Moldova, the technology competence, it's very high for wine producers and production, so you can find good engineer, good technic person with whom you can start to build up a winery. That's a very good situation in Moldova. This is not everywhere in Europe that you can start with good, educated young person to build up a winery. Yeah, that is very positive in this area, Moldova.
Cool. And comparing to Austria, so what are the main advantages of Moldova in comparison to Austria and vice versa? What is easier to do in Austria and more difficult to do in Moldova? Do you have some comparison analysis?
We talk now about general.
Yeah, general.
Yeah, all is much difficult here in Moldova. Sorry, sorry for that. It is a little bit difficult.
Okay.
So it is much clearer the legal positions, how to do. You had much easier in Austria to have the information. What are your rights from the government? Here it's always very complex. If you need this, one of the complexest point I remember is how can be the road from the main road from Floresti to Sculeni, and how I can make my road to my production plant. This needs very complicated, and all is much complicated, and for all I need minimum 50% more time. And the time schedule here, you cannot work as in Austria, where you can say, okay, this month you can do this and this. And also the state and the government situation, the state situation is much clearer in Austria. So you can go to the state, and then you had the right that they give you in a period, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, an answer. But here you can go 5 times, and you had 5 times no answer. And nobody said to you when you can have the answer. And this is much complicated.
But nevertheless, you chose the complicated way to build the winery in Moldova.
Look, I must say, I come 1998 the first time to Moldova, and I do a lot of things, so I know how Moldovan mentality is function. That's the reason why for me it is not a problem.
Okay.
But
you are
okay,
prepared for it.
I prepare it. So I start 20 years after my first incoming to Moldova with a winery in Moldova, 20 years later.
Okay. So, and about the wine. So you, of course, you know Austrian wines, and probably you have favorite wines. For example, what wines do you prefer in Austria? Whites, reds, fresh, or complex, or something like this?
Okay, it is different. First, I must say, okay, in Austria, the climatic situation, it's a little bit other than here. So we are more in the north, but we had more ground with higher content of ingredients of soil. Here, then we had in Austria also for the red a speciality, the lake of Neusiedler See, where it gives another microclimatic for the vineyards around this sea. So it's a little bit near, maybe I can say a little bit special microclimatic as Bulgaria region. But in fact, it's here the other climatic things as the standard, as temperature, as rainy. And so here it's very good, very good. And the grapes are very strong in alcohol, strong in body. And in Austria, this is not everywhere so. But in Austria, we had more special situations in the vineyards, like more slope, high slope, or more special to the south part. So they had a little bit special things. As here, it's more or less standard. It is no hills. It is more or less flat, a little bit. But in here the ground is completely other, so it's deep agriculture land, and we had normally not so high quality on ground for wine in Austria. But the difference is that the wine here are more bodies. There's more, more body, more balanced. So you can here also produce the same, more or less, the same quality as in Austria, but on some parts on a higher level. And it is not every. Here we had also international grapes as Riesling, Sauvignon, Pinot Grigio, as also autochthone grapes from the Fetiasca regala, as from the white wine. It's a very, very good, really very good grape. And also the red wine, what we have here in our area, it's Fetiasca Niagara. And Saparavi, from this grape, I'm very impressed about this body, this fruitness, this balance. It's really a high content grape for really production of quality.
So why I asked, just because I wanted to ask you whether you want to produce here the wines of the same style like Austrian wines, or you try to find something totally different.
No. For me, I am looking from the market, and the market for me said that I must produce international grapes, like Pinot Grigio, Cabernet Sauvignon, Riesling. But I also have seen that I can have autochthone grapes from the Baltic region, like Fetiasca Niagara, Regala, and Saparavi. And I can see some near situation to our Austrian local variety from Zweigel to Blaufränkisch, and you can make more or less near same qualities, but here it is easier to produce this higher quality level.
Cool, thanks. And the main question for I suppose for a businessman, like is it possible to earn money from this project, or it's just a hobby and the activity for your soul?
No, yes, this is a complex. So, in fact, it is not possible to can earn money in the wine business when you start from zero and you must make all investments by yourself. So this is too complex. So it was my wish to go in this field. I want to see, and I do not calculate the losses. I know every year my losses, and they are really huge. But it is okay. It is hobby. It is. We discussed this yesterday. It's a self-realization. It's a self-realization, and the question is how much money I want to give in this self-realization.
Okay.
And this is, but okay, it is okay.
Yeah, thanks. The quote about self-realization will be at the end of of the video. And the last question, probably, about the future. how can you see you are like so far here in Moldova, right? And how do you think what is the future of Moldavian wine, and especially for Domaine La Prut?
The future is difficult to say, but realistic. When I see it realistic, then I must say, okay, this wine quality and the area is known by the former Soviet Union countries. And I think the sales must go also back to these countries. So it is in every Europe, many countries in Europe, it gives a huge production of wine, overproduction of wine. The people like her wine, the Austrians, the Germans, the Italians. It is very complicated to sell an Italian guys a wine from Germany or a wine from Moldova. And this is very special, so this market is very, very poor for brands from Moldova. But I understand that when I was in Poland, when I've been in Romania, they understand what is Moldovan wine. And I'm hopefully in future will give us more also an export to the neighbor countries, Ukraine and maybe further on to Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Armenian. So the wines are also good for this south part of the world part, of the south part of this area. So they like this type of wine.
Super. Hopefully we will see your brand in Ukraine soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to tell, the quote about self-realization, if I can, to repeat that quote that you prepared yesterday. So the quote was the next, when I asked Wilfried, what are you doing here? He found very difficult word or term in German, and we translated it, and it was a self-realization. So a self-realization means that somebody goes to Bhutan, somebody goes to ashram in India, and Wilfried came here to Moldova to make wine. This is something that he calls self-realization.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Wilfried. Thanks for your experience, from my experience here in your winery.
Thank you. Thank you for your coming. I think you have a good time to see a lot.
Yeah, of course.
And I think also we had a good time together.
Thanks a lot.
Also thank you for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.